So I thought we'd put a video together real quick on how to do some basic dimensioning with the cams. So here's a Pear Cam I've created for a different project. And what I'm going to do is, there's my design. So I'll say drawing and I'll say from design. And I can just fill out for the now. I'm just going to keep everything basic, right? I'll say create new and from scratch. And if I had a template like I should, then I could use it here. I could just click in there and there's my template. For now, I'm going to just use sheet size A. Let's go ahead and pull that up. And because that's the part that I came from, it's going to pull the Pear Cam up. And it should start me off with the front view of it. So there's that. Okay, I'll go ahead and click OK that because there's my front view. I'm going to go up here to projected now. And I'll click there for my parent view. Put my top view in, a right side view, and an isometric view. And then I can just hit the check mark here. Or I can right click and say OK. I do want to go ahead and double click the ISO and make it shaded. And I'll hit close. My very next step is to go ahead and put like center marks in. So on this one, there's a hole there. There's actually a center mark here as well, and there would be one on this circle, but they just kind of coincide over there. So I'll undo the last one. I'll get to why we put those center marks in just a second. I'm also going to put center lines in. So here I click there. There's a center line that goes through there, marking where the hole would be, right? Same thing here. All right. So now I've got the basics down. I've put my views in, shaded the ISO, and I put in center marks and center lines. So let's do some dimensioning. Okay. So I'm going to go up here to dimension. I would click on the radius here and just kind of drag it out. Now what I'm seeing though is that we're putting numbers inside the part. That's a big no-no, okay? The reason is because when we hand that over to our machinist or whoever's going to build this, they could get confused by numbers being inside. So all we got to do, I'm just going to escape out of dimension mode by hitting the escape key, and I'll just click and I can drag it by these boxes and kind of pull it out. And we always want to try to keep the dimensions between the views. All right, so let's do a little more. I know that the hole here, it needs a dimension as well. Remember to drag that thing out of there. And we also know that there's an arc up here. Now when I'm way out, sometimes it's really hard to zoom in on just the radius. Sometimes it's really easy. Okay, so sometimes I'll zoom in and get a really good good go of it. So now notice that these lines are mostly parallel. I'm trying to be as organized as possible here, right? Okay, so I've got the radius there. I've got a radius here. I've got the whole diameter. Let's see. I should probably get a dimension. Get a dimension from center mark to center mark. And I will drag this one out. I ultimately would want it over here though. But when I do that, see how those lines are crossing? The dimension lines are kind of crossed up. So I'll move it over here for this case. All right. So I know that from here to here is 1.25. I know the radius up here, and I know the diameter here of this hole, and I know the radius of the bottom part of this arc. Now if I wanted to, I could come over here and dimension again and say from this corner to the center mark, and I would want to go out here to the end of it. And then if I move my mouse into the right spot, I could do that. I want to show you a common thing I'm seeing though. I'll see some people, they'll click on this line and then they'll click on the center line and they'll drag it out. Sometimes that plays nice. Other times you really have to click the end of it. Now you notice I got some overlap there, right? So I'm going to just kind of click on that dot and scoot it out some, make it look a little prettier. Now the thing is I really don't know that I need this one. Because of all the other dimensions, I have the radial there and the radius here in that dimension. So I really don't need this one. So I'll delete that one. One thing I'm going to need though is I need the thickness here, right? So I'm going to say from here to here and put it at 0.25. Now just kind of keeping with some standards here, I really need this 0.25. I'm trying to keep them between views whenever possible, right? So now if I do that though, look how cluttered it gets. So I'm going to click on this view. I just kind of scoot it out some. Now it's a little cleaner looking, right? If we look at this top view, there's not really a whole lot that I could put there that I don't already have. So if I say, all right, I'm clicking from, let me click dimension again. So if I click dimension and I say from here to here, see, that's not really helping me any because I've already got it. And I could say from here to here, but again, that's not really helping me because I have that radial dimension down here, right? There's a 1.25. So really on this, in the particular in this top view, I don't need any of these, right? So let me zoom out and show you what we kind of look like here.